Imagine the pharaohs ruling with smartphones, tanks, and satellites. What if ancient Egypt didn't collapse 2,000 years ago? What if they got a cheat code to the future? How would history change if Egypt had today's technology? Would Cleopatra be queen of the world? Let's find out. The Great Pyramid of Giza took 20 years to build. It's mind-boggling to think that over 1 million stone blocks were put into place one by one. But what if ancient Egyptians had the same building technology that we do now? Cranes, concrete, and artificial intelligence. There's no telling how tall their pyramids would be. Maybe they wouldn't even look like pyramids at all. Imagine skyscraper-like pyramids or entire futuristic cities springing up along the Nile River. Egyptians are famous for planning their monumental buildings carefully. But how would satellite imaging and drone technology change this process? Perhaps they would commission orbital flyovers to pick the perfect site for their next temple, or maybe even use drones to carve the first lines of hieroglyphics into a new monument. The possibilities are endless. But let's say they didn't go into construction. What if ancient Egyptians had access to modern military hardware? Without chariots and horses, their armies would rule the known world. No empire from the Hittites to the Persians or Romans would stand a chance against Egyptian forces rolling through their lands in tanks, firing missiles, and flying jets. This Egyptian military would conquer Africa, the Middle East, and even parts of Europe. They'd be unstoppable. And if nuclear technology existed back then, Egypt would be nearly invincible. Pharaohs would reign supreme and live in unmatched luxury, completely untouchable. Knowledge and communication spread slowly in ancient times. The Egyptians invented hieroglyphic writing, but it relied on carving symbols into stone tablets or papyrus scrolls. This meant knowledge could take years to move across their vast empire. Imagine if Ramses II commissioned an architect to design his dream temple in Memphis only to find out Akhenaten was installing a new religion in Thebes 10 years later. That's a lot of time to miss out on some major gossip. But with printing presses, the internet, and AI, knowledge would reach every corner of the empire instantly. Every scribe and artist would collaborate in real time. Artists would be able to share ideas and techniques immediately, leading to a golden age of learning. The Egyptians might be the first connected civilization in history. We can almost see them now, the hot desert sun beating down on them as they scroll through their phones while lounging on pool floats in the Nile River. They discuss the latest news from Nubia or the Levant and chat with friends about plans for the weekend. Maybe they head out to watch Ramses fly his drone over the Sphinx, snapping epic aerial footage for their social media feeds. Everyone's favorite pharaoh posts some sick beats. Hatshepsut drops a sick beat as she flies her jet to Byblos to trade rare artifacts. And Thutmose III rocks the boat with some funky bass drops as he conquers new lands for the kingdom. With the economy growing quickly, thanks to the riches of gold, grain, and papyrus, Egypt would easily become one of the most powerful nations in the world. Sure, there would be lots of awesome landmarks to gawk at, but everyone would really be here for the shopping. With global shipping, airplanes, and digital banking, Egyptians could dominate trade anywhere in the world. They could sell exotic animals, luxury goods, and agricultural products to anyone, from China to Greece. And when the Suez Canal opened, Egypt's strategic location would make it a hub for international commerce. Combined with modern infrastructure, Egypt could become a world economic superpower. Just imagine the GDP per capita if everyone in the country used crypto. Religion was a big part of life in ancient Egypt. People believed that the pharaohs were descended from gods like Ra, the sun god, and Osiris, the god of the afterlife. The priests had enormous power because they controlled knowledge of religious practices and rituals. But what would happen if technology disrupted this balance of power? Advanced technology could pose a challenge to traditional beliefs in gods like Ra or Osiris. After all, if science could explain natural phenomena once attributed to divine powers, people may start to question traditional religious doctrines. At the same time, though, the fusion of faith and technology is nothing new. Some believe that Egyptian gods could easily be translated into cyborg deities, complete with mechanical limbs and glowing eyes. Maybe they have giant battle mechs piloted by priests that shoot energy beams from their fingertips, or dance parties in the temple with holograms of gods appearing and disappearing at will. Who knows? If we're being honest, that would be pretty dope. But it would be hard to believe that these gods would still exist. They might just act as superheroes or anything else. They could use media, propaganda, and surveillance to keep their people under control like never before. How about that for a dystopia? Ancient Egypt lasted for over 3,000 years. So how would things look if the Egyptians had all the technology we have now? For starters, Western civilizations like Greece and Rome might never exist. Without the foundation laid by Egyptian predecessors, the Middle East could be dominated by a single super empire. Ancient Egypt was already a powerhouse with its well-organized government, strong military, and advanced technology for the time period. With today's tech, they'd be unstoppable. Their control over vital trade routes would allow them to amass great wealth. The Industrial Revolution could occur thousands of years earlier, and modern technology would spread around the world centuries ahead of schedule. We could be living in a post-spacefaring age right now. Of course, this is all just speculation. We can only imagine what would have happened if the Egyptians had access to our technology. But one thing is for sure, it would have been very interesting to see how they would have used it. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please do not forget to like and subscribe.